Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you on today's episode? We have for you one clip to watch. This isn't it. This is just a still image of the events in Columbus, Ohio. You know how the police officer there has been hung out to dry. LeBron James, that most ridiculous and harmful of people, put out the photo of the officer with the phrase, and I'm quoting him here, "You're next." In other words, after the event in Minneapolis, the woke left, who pretty much dominate all cultural entities and public sector entities and even government in this country now, they understand that the era of mob justice has arrived. Like in the third world where you get mob rule, mob justice, that's arrived. Now, the officer in question saved the life of the girl who is backed up against that car, trying to move out of the way of the girl in front, the big heifer girl with the knife, who was trying to plunge that into the girl's neck, the girl in pink. The officer saved the life of the girl in pink, but that wasn't good enough for the usual suspects. And the officer's now being targeted by the usual suspects. Now, we're about to watch a clip of the mainstream media doing what they do best, which is try to frame the narrative a particular way. They were talking to the Columbus chief of police. They were being their usual rude self, usual unprofessional self, asking the most ridiculous questions, because the chief of the Columbus police has had to order a press briefing because the poor guy, the officer's being hung out to dry, right? Anyway, look, let's get into this clip. But if you haven't yet, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is also going out to BitChute, and I'll be on Rumble soon. YouTube is sectioning off independent commentary channels. Any independent channel, really. They want to become the new mainstream media, so they silence us and get rid of us. So I will be uploading to BitChute and Rumble from now on. Anyway, let's go. Okay, so over to the Columbus, Ohio police chief.
Is finished.
Chief, one of the big questions that has been asked primarily on social media, and it may seem like a silly question that, like, shouldn't people already know, but this is a legitimate question that a lot of people are asking, is can an officer shoot the leg? Can they shoot somewhere that would not result in a fatal wound, right? So a lot of people have said, couldn't he have just shot her in the leg so she dropped? Could he have shot her in the arm, something like that?
Right, one of the difficult things with that is when you're trying, we don't train to shoot the leg because that's a small target. We train to shoot center mass. What is available to stop that threat? There was a threat going on, a deadly force threat that was going on, so the officer is trained to shoot center mass, the largest part of a body that is available to them. When you try to start shooting legs or arms, rounds miss, and then they continue on, and there are people behind that could be in danger that are not committing anything. So we try and minimize any danger to anyone else if we have to use our firearm.
Chief, is a 12-minute response time to a report of an attempted stabbing acceptable?
Is a 12-minute response time to a reported stabbing acceptable? Let me tell you what's not acceptable. Mainstream media shills divisive, destructive propaganda networks such as ABC, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, and all the other ones, right? Now, when he says this might seem like a stupid question, but plenty of people are asking this, the people he's talking about are his colleagues in the mainstream media and, of course, the Twitterati, right? Ordinary people understand how ridiculous it is to suggest that when you have someone charging at you with a knife or even a gun, because let's be fair, this is going to happen again, right? And it will keep on happening. That's why you don't give in to mob justice, number one. And number two, you have to start instilling in the minds of the youth that their actions have consequences. For too long now, we have been under this participation trophy mindset nationally that you're never held accountable for your actions. It can always be put on someone else. It's always someone else's fault. You always did something because of this person or that person or this reason, that reason. You cannot, if someone's charging at you, or worse, if you're a police officer and there is a man or a woman, in this case obviously, that is trying to harm a group of other individuals, right? You can't shoot their hand. What if you miss? And I remember it's always stuck with me. It was one of these police camera action type programs. I saw it years ago, years and years and years ago. This guy, it was in America. It was one of the more well-known and more famous. You probably saw it yourself if you go into your mind and look back many years. This man, he had a baby. And he was holding on to a baby. I'm guessing it might have been his daughter. I don't know. It could have been someone else's. I don't know. But he looked like a disturbed father. And he was sitting down against the wall. And he had the baby. And he had the gun to the baby's head. Right? And he was saying to the cops, don't, you stay there. Don't you move. Don't come near me. Imagine trying to shoot that hand with the gun. Imagine trying to shoot it with a baby's head right next to it. And that makes sense to these people. Unbelievable. And as for the officer in question, who LeBron James, as I said, he put up a tweet with his, you could see him, and it said, "You're next." That's what he said. It was just that I'm quoting him as saying, "You're next." That's mob justice. They want mob rule. They want a lynching. They want a lynching. That's what they want, right? That officer now is going to have to live the rest of his life in fear of the mob because he saved the life of a girl. People saying, "Oh, he saved the life of a black girl." I just want to say girl. Take the colour out of it, right? Let's just take the colour away and just say he saved the life of a girl from another girl who was trying to stab her, which we all saw. We all saw that. If he'd have left it, right, I was of the opinion, in fact I still am, in some way, that he should have just said, "No, not my business, I'm off." But if he did that, the headlines then would be, "He left a black girl to be stabbed. Oh, it was a dereliction of duty. Oh, he only did that because he's white," and so on and so on. You understand what I mean? So he's damned if he did save the girl in pink. And he's damned if he didn't save the girl in pink. But let's say if he didn't. Let's say if he left it. And the heifer girl with the knife did what she wanted to do. And then the girl in pink who was up against the car trying to protect herself. Let's say she died, right? She would then become just another statistic of urban black on black violence. And if she did become just another statistic, just another teenager from these high density urban areas that died at the hands of someone else, murdered, okay, LeBron James would not give a damn. LeBron James wouldn't even know her name. This is getting to the heart of the issues here. They only care when it suits their narrative, which shows you that really, when you get down to the nitty gritty, they don't care. They don't care. They only use incidents like this to their advantage so they can press their power. And to be fair, they've been doing it very successfully for quite some time now. Society isn't what it was just 20 years ago. I often think about the best times society ever was, especially in the United States, was when, you remember the film of, I think I alluded to this in my last video. Can you remember the film American Beauty, right? It was filmed in late 1990s. So this is the AOL, American Online era, the WWF, Attitude era, that late 90s era of suburbia, American suburbia. Wasn't that the best time? Especially in America. Really nice time to be alive, right? They've destroyed it. They've destroyed that. You could have still had that. We could have still had that type of society. But the people who don't want that, the people who don't want cozy, They don't want safety. They want mob rule. They want control. They want power. And they'll get it regardless of how many cities they ruin. So look, this is the police chief. Sorry it wasn't a long clip. I've probably done a lot of speaking, but I wanted to show you this because they've had to call press briefings and all sorts because the officer is being pillared from all over the place for just for saving a life. It goes beyond doing his job. He wasn't just doing his job. He wasn't out on patrol and, did 8 hours and then he clocked off. He saved a life. The heifer armed with the knife chose to arm herself. She chose to try to end the life of the girl in pink. Her actions have consequences. I just wish people would realise that, Anyway, look, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think of the whole thing in the comment section down below. If you haven't yet, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell if you're on YouTube. If you're on BitChute, there's just a subscribe button down below. But either way, share it around. Let's try to combat the crippling censorship that YouTube inflicts on its independent content creators. Really, they're just stabbing themselves in the foot. I don't know why they're doing it to themselves. I honestly don't. But, that's a topic for another day. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.